What is going on, guys? Dinner vs. All Gaming with my review of the七つの大罪or 7 Deadly Sins episode 8 review. And this episode, it definitely hit you with like some major feels. Now, I read the manga and the feels were like definitely there, but the anime, it just felt so much worse to me at least. But Ban's past, it is definitely messed up, and we see why now. He feels so strongly about Elaine, because this girl here, not only did he like fall for her, but she also, pretty much sacrificed her own life, to save him. And that right there is incredible, because she was alone for like 700 years, as she said, but Ben made that all go away in 1 week. So their love is so strong, and that right there I can definitely respect. But the episode itself, it starts off with that holy night that we saw last week. She is now there, and we see her now choking those kids because she wants to know how to get into the capital of the dead. And so when the little boy tells her how to get in there, like at first she has no idea like how it works, and so she does. And so what she does is the most traumatic thing, and she actually kills herself, because we saw her actually impale her heart with her hand, and that right there allows her to go there, obviously. And so we have King. We have King who was still chasing Ban, who was chasing Elaine's ghost, and then we have Diane, Meteor Hawk, and Elizabeth. They of course were looking for those two, and right now we have the Holy Night. Now I believe her name was pronounced Golia. I have no idea. Hopefully I will learn how to say it correctly. But we have this knight appearing before them, and we see now that when Hawk, we see now that even before their fight starts, we see some of the girl power, because when she draws her sword, she obviously says Hawk and Elizabeth flying away. And so obviously now those two definitely need to get out of there. And so now we have Elizabeth riding Hawk, and we see Hawk taking off, and it's actually pretty fast. Hawk was definitely booking it, but we see now that even though when it seemed they were far enough, that really still wasn't good enough, because we see now that once they thought that they were safe, we have Meteor being sent flying now, and he crashed into this huge crystal, obviously. And so he had told them to go even farther away, but we see now that not only was Meteor sent flying, but Diane as well, and she was lucky to be alive, because Meteor actually saved her, because we see now he caught her from landing on this huge kind of like a spike, so she got lucky with that one. But we have Ban, who are trying so hard to escape from King, but we see now that when Ban had enough and actually and actually tried to fight him, we see now that King's weapon, at first it took the form of this giant pillow, and then it became this giant stuffed bear. But when it had Ban tied up, because obviously Ban cannot die, so King here had this bright idea to what's the word, to pretty much turn him into stone. And we see now at first it was working, obviously, and we see now that King, that Ban, he was not worried, and he actually had this smug look on his face, even as it was happening to him. But all this time, King here kind of had the wrong idea, because we see now that after the 7 Deadly Sins, after they broke up 10 years ago, and King had returned home, that was the first time he saw his forest burn down. And so I'm guessing he must have heard from somewhere, or maybe he somehow already knew that it was Ban who did this, or at least that right there is what he believed. So obviously he was thinking that Ban not only destroyed this forest, but he also killed his sister as well, because obviously she was a guardian at the time. So that right there would mean, for this forest to be at this state, she had to be killed. And so now we see that now let me see that even though King finally got his revenge, it did not last that long because we saw like these orbs of light. They had came down and they actually, like they actually set Ban free. And so first King could not see Elaine, but he could hear her. So that right there was interesting because I thought maybe because he couldn't see her, he could also hear her at all. But we see now that through the flashback, like through King's, like through Ban's flashback, and we learn the truth. That right there, which is so messed up, because we see now that apparently this like red monstrous thing, which actually known as a demon, it actually came there and it attacked the forest. And the way that it was able, to mess it up like this, it was because it had the flames of purgatory. But the thing is, though, these demons, they were actually supposedly sealed by the goddess clan. So that right there makes you wonder how in the world did like one demon get free? Because we saw how much damage it caused, and not only that, like we see how powerful it is. Especially when it's take out Ban and Elaine, and pretty much like a one-shot, because the first Ban here, he was like definitely confident, and we see now that when he used his weapon and like took out his heart, we see now that that Elaine was like trying to tell him that demons do not die just from that, but it was too late. And we see now that like Ban was like struck down from his shoulder like down to like his torso. And Elaine had like this Elaine had this huge hole in her stomach as well. And so we see now that like Ban here, he was actually trying to get Elaine to like drink the water so that way she could live on. But when Elaine did that, she kind of like flipped the script and she kissed Ban and made him drunk instead. And that right there is what saved him. And now we see now that because of that, like once Ban was healed, he obviously wanted revenge, and we see that like him and the demon, they obviously fought, and Ban came out the victor. But I do wish that we could have saw more of that fight, because there was also when like Ban cut off his arm, but cut off his fingers. But it definitely would have been cool to see their full fight. That right there would have been interesting. But we see now that their time together, it cannot last that much longer, because like right now there was a fight going down, and of course Ban here, he had want to help his friends. But we see now that before he had left her, he had told her that like someday he'll make her his. And that right there actually made her tear up, because that one little scene, it played such a major role, especially for the ending of the episode. But now we see that like Ben had ran off to like join the others, and King now was just so confused because he could not understand how in the world could Elaine forgive Ban. But obviously, she was like definitely upset with her brother. But obviously, everything that like Ban did, it was for Elaine's sake, and also King's as well. And once King, like learned the truth, obviously he definitely feels conflicted. But we see now, like early on, like we have Meliodas and Diane, they were actually struggling, like a lot with the Holy Night, and even when we had Diane bringing out, like her earthbending skills, because that right there is what I call them, they still weren't enough. And we have Guila, whatever her name is, the Holy Knight. She actually knew about Meliodas' technique, his full counter, and she actually, even though she took it, she was able to make it so that the power was like very weak, and that way she could not get a lot of damage back on her. So that right there was smart. And so we see now that like she definitely done her research on the Sins, and she knows how they fight. So that right there definitely makes her formidable. And like even when Ban joined them, they still weren't really a match for them. But there was like one scene where Meliodas, he was like sent flying, and Diane called him in her booze, and that right there was hilarious. And the thing is, she was like actually happy about that. So that right there was like really funny to me. But we see that they were all struggling, and like even Ban, who was acting kind of arrogant, he also took some like pretty serious damage. But obviously he's immortal and he healed from that. But then we have Hawk and Elizabeth, who finally stopped running. Well, Hawk anyway, because he got so tired. He was like actually by King. And so we see now that King, while like still so conflicted, and his sister, like was trying to like show him the truth, but tell him that Ben is not as evil as they think he is. We see now that when Hulk and Elizabeth appeared, Elaine, kind of like left, and that right there was a bit cold. But like she said, her brother left her for like 700 years, so obviously there was no way she would want to talk to him, for a very long period of time. But we see now that Elizabeth, she actually wanted to borrow, King's weapon and fight. And that right there, it definitely shows some serious improvement or character development for Elizabeth, because she's like tired of being saved by them, and she wanted to help them as well. And we see now that even Hawk was like trying to help her, and of course, they did bring out the weapon, but that right there was like mainly King, because obviously there's no way those two could lift it, especially when he called it a sacred treasure, I believe. So I believe, like it was King just helping them out, but he actually went there as well, because we see now that when they all charged in there, at the Holy Night, we have Ben here who got like stabbed in the neck, but then we have King come out of nowhere, and he had like impaled Ben to like hurt the Holy Knight, and we just had Ben, like looking so casual as he like looked at King, and of course, King here, he obviously does not care, because it's not like him and Ben are best friends. But that scene right there, it was like definitely hilarious to me. But then after the credits, and we get Elaine's final moments. Oh my God, those feels were heavy, because we see now that the forestry, or the forestry, it actually it had like one more seed, like one more sapling, and she wanted Ben to plant it. But we see now that like Ben here still had hope that like she would somehow live this. But we see now that obviously that right there wasn't the case, and she actually like wanted Ben to tell her something one more time, and that was someday he'll make her his. But right before he could finish that, she actually died, which is why he told her that in a capital of the dead. And like he even told her that she could wait till he was done. And so those feels, they were like definitely there. The episode was like definitely emotional, and of course we got some pretty good action. But we see now that like our seven deadly sins, they are on the roast right now. But the episode overall, it was definitely good. It was definitely quite enjoyable, especially like now knowing Ben, like full background. I definitely gotta give it an 8 out of 10, probably a 9. But of course, I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on this. And as always, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because it really helps me out. And you guys take it easy. I will see you all next time.